from the morning you have gotten up to now at 1:15. Just do a mental exercise and try to compute how many things I am grateful for. The fact that I woke up, the fact that I was able to move my hands and legs to go to the bathroom, the fact that I was able to turn the stove off and make coffee, the fact that I was able to sit in the car and drive, the fact that I was able to safely go to my work, from there come here, receive 15 calls, and keep counting. You just can't. There is another ayah in Quran, which I don't remember exactly, but paraphrasing the translation of this, if all oceans were to become ink, and if all trees were to become pen or pencil, you would not be able to write all of the blessing that you are bestowed upon. You just can't. Subhanallah. Right? That's the concept of shukr in our deen. Shukr, my dear brothers and sisters, or to be grateful, makes us fully human. There isn't any other species that we know of who has a choice to be grateful and to be ungrateful, or to be somewhere neutral, or to exercise that will or that privilege that we are blessed with. Sometimes we can be grateful, other times I don't care. We have that privilege as a human being. Allah has bestowed upon us this privilege, right? No other creation has this. So if and when I am voluntarily being grateful for everything, every hyphen thing, every hyphen moment, at all times, in prosperity and in adversity, that makes us fully human, right? That makes us fully human. So in this weekend of Thanksgiving, let us be grateful for all the blessings that we are blessed with. You know, before we figure out a way how to express our gratitude to Allah, our Creator, to our family, to our friends, to our community, let us also remember that, you know, in the society in which we live, there are a lot of disparities, right? There are people across the street in our neighborhoods who may not have that meal that we so cherish to have with our family on Thanksgiving afternoon. Remember that. Remember them. You know, our country is completely imbalanced in matter of equities, right? So we see that there are 3+ million people who had homes last year and they don't have, they are unhoused. We have 50 million people who are food dependent. They don't know where the next meal is going to come from. They have work, they have family, they have a house, they have a job, but still they are food insecure. About 60+ million people who don't have health insurance. On the other hand, we have 298 billionaires with a B in this country. 298 billionaires. 22 million millionaires. Imagine that. So on one end you have this extraordinary concentration and consolidation of wealth in the hands of a handful few people, and then you have tens and hundreds of millions of people who are struggling to put food on their table. Disparity. So we are grateful for certainly all the blessings, but we are also mindful of these inequities that does exist in our nation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is one of the shortest phrases that I have memorized, and I always try to remember this. لَأَنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you are grateful for whatever that you are grateful for, I'll increase that for you. I'm grateful for health, for example. Inshallah, my health will be better than it is. If I am grateful for family, my family life with joy, with contentment, with peace, in harmony in the family will also increase. I am grateful for wealth, for example. Inshallah, Allah will give me even more. لَأَنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Remember this phrase. I am always grateful and I want more of it because it's Allah's blessing. How can I not? Right? Health, wealth, time, friendships, relationships, family, job, all kinds of blessings that I am blessed with. These are the material aspects of being grateful. And then there are immaterial aspects of gratefulness. And I'll share some of those. Some of us are blessed with parents. Tonight I'll go and grab the feet of my mother and my father and I'll give them a kiss. Many of us who are orphans or those who don't have parents, we know what it means. How important that is, what kind of emotional support and emotional strength you get when you know your dad is alive, he's there always to help and support you. This is my message to my younger brothers and sisters in the community. Never, never underestimate the strength and power and blessing of your parents and grandparents. Now don't demand, and those of us who are parents and grandparents, don't demand this from your children, but encourage and cultivate in them that idea that tomorrow you too shall become a parent. And when you do, your children, you will impart this knowledge to them as well. Pray 2 rakah nafil tonight. Just nafil for no reason except as an expression of my gratitude. Try at least some major milestone blessings in your life. When you got married, when your first child was born, when you bought your first house, when you bought your first car, and also when you were saved from calamities. In 2008, 2009, for example, in this country, people were leaving keys in the mailboxes and walking away because they couldn't afford. All kinds of scam. But you had your house, whether it is rental or whether it is your own house. Think of those major milestones in your life. To young people, when you passed your high school, your undergrad, your graduation, those of us who got the first job, and continue to make halal living to support and sustain ourselves. Think of all of those things and fall down in sajda and say, Ya Allah, how can I thank you enough? I cannot. But I am grateful to you for these extraordinary blessings that you have bestowed upon me. Hug your children and invest time in them. I'll tell you a very quick short story. Some years ago, a very good friend of mine who Allah has blessed with lots of material resources, very wealthy man, he buys a Mercedes for his daughter when she graduated from high school, invited her for lunch, and surprised by giving the keys of the car to his daughter. His daughter smiled, looked at the father, and said, Jazakumullah khairan for this beautiful gift, but I don't want it. And she returned the keys to the father. Father is panicked. I bought a new Mercedes car for this young lady, for my daughter. And she's returning it back. And he asked, Habibti, what did I do wrong? Or do you want another car or a bigger car, etc.? She said, no. I want just a week with you without your phone. That's all I want. Those of us who are parents and grandparents, spend time with your children. I believe I had given this khutbah before. Time is the only gift that Allah has given you with that cannot be saved, that cannot be put away, that cannot be shared with somebody else, that cannot be reused, it cannot be recycled. What you have is what you have. Every moment that you are going to miss the time with your children, you are going to regret it. So spend time with your children and be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Reach out to friends and family members you love. This is the weekend, simply call and say, I love you for the sake of Allah. And I remember you. I miss you in my heart. You may not be talking each other on a frequent basis, but I remember you. And I want you to know that I remember you. And I don't I'm not hesitant to say I love you for the sake of Allah. Do that on this weekend. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever you wish to be blessed for the year and the years to come. Asking Allah is also makes us fully human. We can't ask anybody else. It doesn't matter how close of a friend I have, how resourceful a person is. I'm not going to ask that person. It's only from Allah. And I take pride in begging to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for things that I need. In the sajda, in the ruku, raising my hands, crying, pleading. Allah loves that. Because that makes us fully human. We know then who are we? We have nothing. We have absolutely zero zilch power. And things that it is only and always by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? That makes us fully human. And think of and act upon to help others at all times. I also remind myself, every time I drive somewhere and I see a person who's standing on the street and does not have something or asking for something, I first thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look, I have this privilege in the comforts of my car with AC on, I'm driving. This person is not. How can I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And then whatever that I can do to mitigate that in helping someone else, it's also a blessing that we are in the state of privilege to be able to do that, whereas others don't have. And lastly, if you want to be truly grateful, visit a cemetery. Sit by the grave of whoever that person is, your loved one, or you don't know that person. That will help us increase our understanding of gratefulness, of shukr. That person who is in the grave, he or she does not have the privilege to be grateful for. His or her time has passed. You and I are still alive, and you and I can still be able to do that. That is the only reality in life, is death. All else is illusion, delusion, and time passes by. Death is the only reality that we all human beings will be tested and subjected to. And in order for us to be truly grateful, we must remember that that's going to be the ultimate end of us. And hence, whatever that we do have today becomes that much exponentially more important for us to be grateful for. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to be able to be grateful for the blessings that Allah has blessed us with, and also be grateful for things that we are not blessed with, because He knows best what is good for us and what is not good for us, what is sufficient for us and what's not. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to be able to enjoy and celebrate this weekend of Thanksgiving, and cultivate in our hearts a deep sense of being grateful at all times, in adversity and in prosperity. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله ولكم وسائر المسلمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله ملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give the best of blessings to those who are sick in our community, and we ask Allah to give firdaus al-ala to those who have passed away. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give strength to those who are suffering in different parts of the world, particularly in Gaza, in occupied Palestine. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hold those who are committing genocide accountable in this dunya and in akhirah. And Ya Allah, give us the strength to be able to do all that we can do, materially and or immaterially. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always help us to remain grateful for the blessings He has blessed upon us, our family, our children, our communities, and our ummah at large. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم اغفر لي ولوالدينا وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك تواب رحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وأقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
حقا لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. استووا استقيموا. Straighten the rows. Make space for the brothers and sisters coming in. Allahu Akbar. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله العظيم. استغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو. استغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو القيوم وأتوب إليك. لا إله إلا الله.